So take two, because I'm an idiot who deleted my recording last time, but I am doing another Syria update. Let me just get rid of this here, and we will continue. So if we go for a broader view out here, you'll notice ISIS is basically no longer in Iraq. There's no little black blotch or anything we can actually... Yeah, basically ISIS have been driven out of the country of Iraq, which is excellent if you ask me, and they only control this little slither in Syria and a couple little blotches here and here, but they're mostly surrounded by other groups that are opposing them, which, overall, that's excellent. But what we need to discuss is this big yellow blob up here. That is the Kurds. So, as you've probably learned in my last Syria update, Deir ez-Zor is out of ISIS's hands almost entirely, and that was their last urban stronghold in both Iraq and Syria. I'm not sure how they're doing in Libya. I'll actually have to check to see if this map offers that, but they've lost control of the vast majority of the city, and things are not going well for them. Their Assad regime is probably going to get there first, but the Kurds are probably going to take these outskirts. But yeah, overall it's good. I want ISIS gone. We all do. So we zoom out here. So there's really not much to talk about on that token. But you go over to the southwest, it's pretty interesting because there was a ceasefire back during the summer. I think it kind of fell through. And by the way, I'd go over these symbols, but that would take me too long, and I'm trying to keep this short because I don't want to keep you guys here all day. And you look at this, the opposition forces, they really don't control any urban centers in the southwest, and most of the territory they control are just like empty land like this and like this right here. And they do control some small towns, but they're mostly surrounded. So, no, get out of there. Sorry about that. Yeah, they're out of Homs. It's been a while. The main one they control is Idlib, which is mainly like al-Nusra and al-Sham. And you look at this, things have been kind of like stagnant there, which they've been taking the outskirts, the regime, and the Kurds also close in from the north. And interestingly enough, the Turks have now gotten involved. Who knows whose side they're on, because they do that all the time, and they switch sides every week. Like a year ago, Assad must go. We're going to shoot down this Russian jet for crossing into our territory to support Assad. So on and so forth. So the Kurds, who knows what's going on? I believe Erdogan, I know this gets thrown around a lot about a lot of prominent people. I believe Erdogan is actually insane. Then you can see here, there's been some pro-regime airstrikes there. Then, like, the break-off, like, of al-Sham is up here in the north, but they're not going to last long. Like, they control a few small towns, and nobody's really touched them, so they haven't really presented a threat. But like I said, what's really interesting is what's happening here with the Kurds. Now, best-case scenario we have is one of two things. The Kurds just kind of, and then accept Syrian rule. There's a ceasefire with an autonomous Kurdish state, or possibly an independent state, which would create other problems if it was an entirely independent state. But Kurdish autonomy would be a good compromise for absolutely everyone involved, because it would just create less complications. Because let's say things go to the worst case scenario. I do not believe it's going to be World War III, because if World War III was going to happen in Syria, I can almost guarantee you it would have happened by now. So I feel pretty confident in saying that. Knock on wood. That never hurts you. But you look at this. If the Kurds actually do decide to wage the war of independence, especially with how their referendum went in Iraq, which was a big debacle in of itself. I made my video as a prelude to that. I never made a follow-up, though, which I'm probably not going to since the time has passed. And you'll have Kurdish fighters flowing in from northern Iraq, southern Turkey, and more towards here in Iran, because there is a Kurdish population in Iran, and it would mostly be guerrilla war. However, with the way things are, guerrilla wars usually work best against foreign armies, and when you have the Syrian army fighting on Syrian soil, it's probably not going to bode well for the guerrilla forces. So, That's my thought with the Kurds, and I think the Kurds are also smart enough to know that. I think they're smart enough not to risk a war over it because they have no air force. They have some artillery. I'm not sure if they have any like tanks or armored vehicles, but the Syrian army definitely has the upper hand, and that's even without the Russians or Iranians backing them, which I think they might. Now, the U.S., they would, give like tepid support to the Kurds. They might do like a few arms drops or like, send some advisors or CIA there. But at the end of the day, we're not going to support the Kurds because we would have by now. We would have supported them in Iraq if we were really dedicated to the Kurdish cause, which I don't think we are. And good because the last thing we need is another entanglement in the Middle East. But yeah, I did this because the media has been really quiet about Syria. I haven't heard anything in a couple weeks about Syria and any mainstream or alternative media for that matter. And I figured it'd only be proper for me to give you an update because things are coming to a close. I don't think it'll be done by the end of the year, but I say by sometime mid next year, maybe like March or April. I mean, I feel like I'm being a bit generous there, but I'm going to say, well, ISIS will definitely be gone. I say ISIS is gone by the end of the year, beginning of next year. I say they're gone by early January. The opposition, what's left of them, I feel like a lot of them have been demoralized. A lot of them, especially in the Southwest here and like South in general, are just going to surrender. They're going to give up. They realize the fight is over, and after 6-7 years of war. Now, what's going to happen in Idlib? I think they're going to close in on the city, and I think it's going to become like another Mosul situation where it's going to be kind of that dirty fighting, and almost kind of like what Fallujah was back in the early 2000s in Iraq. I have a bad feeling that's what Idlib's going to turn into. Now, I hope I'm wrong. Maybe I am. But I'm just taking a guess there. And I already discussed the Kurds, so really, all I can say, like I said at the end of my Syria update videos, time will tell. So, that's about it for me. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, the basics usual. Basic shilling, share this if you want to, if you thought it was good. But that does it for me, and goodbye.